Good morning, guys. This is the word of the Lord today. It's coming from, let me fix this. This is looking a little crazy. Okay, so this word, my brothers and sisters, is coming from um, 1 Kings chapter 3, 16 through 28. Some of you may know of this occurrence and some of you may not. I encourage you to read it. In this particular chapter, there's an issue. There's a situation where two women bring their baby before Solomon. One has a live baby, okay, and accuses the other of stealing her child. So the bottom line is, these two women delivered babies. They lived in the same house together. One had a live baby, and I guess one's child was the other woman's baby died because she actually ended up smothering the baby. She ended up rolling over and sleeping on the baby. Okay, so what she did was she switched her baby, the baby that's deceased, and gave it to the other woman and kept her live baby. Upon not realizing what's happened, now these two women are before King Solomon, and both are saying, the lady who has the live baby is denying and saying, no, this is my baby. The other lady is saying, no, she has taken my child. So what Solomon decides to do is he calls for a sword and say, okay, well, we can't figure out whose baby is whose. Let's get the sword, divide the baby in two, and you all will have half a babies. Problem solved. But of course, Solomon had a plan. So what happened in the end was the woman who, in fact, it is her baby that was stolen, she begs and pleads with Solomon and says, no, let her keep the baby. Let her have the baby. She pleads for the baby and said, please don't, in other words, just as any mother would be pleading for a child and say, let her keep this baby. Let her have this child. Okay. And then the lady who had actually stolen the child said, no, let's divide the child. We can't figure out whose baby it is. Let's cut this baby in half. So Solomon, in his divine wisdom, realized that no, take the child from this woman who is insisting that we divide the child, and give the child to its true mother who's pleading for the child. And so, of course, his wisdom went throughout all the kingdom and all Israel and beyond, because how he handled the situation. Ironically, when the Lord gave me this word, I thought I understood, okay, Lord, where are we going to go with this? But the word that he gave me was quite surprising. And what the Lord is saying in this word is, who will you plead for? Who are you going to plead for? What will you plead for? When he tries to separate and divide you from things that's no longer needed, things, people, situations, who are you going to plead for? Who are you going to cry out for? Because there are things that the Lord has been trying to separate you from, divide, remove you from, cut away from you. And you are pleading and crying for this thing, for this situation, for this person. You're refusing to be separated. God, I want everything, but don't separate me from this situation. I don't want to be separated from these people. I don't want to be separated from this individual. I don't want you to cut away this habit. I don't want you to take away the stronghold. I don't want you to take away this person. I don't want you to take away the things that I have grown used to from my life. There are things that the Lord has attempted to cut away, to remove from your life. Things, situations, strongholds, things that he wants to set you free from, things that he wants to divide and cut and take you away from. But you're pleading and you're crying for it. You don't want to be separated from it. And so as that mother that cried out for the child, you see, because she has a love for it. And God is saying here, the thing that you're crying for, the thing that you don't want him to cut away from your life, is truly what's on the altar of your heart. And God is going to give you what you love. The Lord is trying to cut some things away. He's trying to remove some things, but you're crying and you're pleading and you're begging for it. You're crying and you're pleading and you're begging every time that man or that woman attempts to leave. You want to stay in it, even if it's painful to you. You keep going back. You're crying and you're pleading and you're begging and you want to stay as you are and you don't want to change and you don't want to be divided because this is what you love. This is what your heart yearns for. And God is saying He's not going to force you. He's going to give you what you are crying for and what you're begging for. The thing that needs to be cut away. The things that brings you pain. The thing that keeps you separated from Him. The dead things that you want to hold on to. You see, sometimes you're crying and you're praying for justice and you want God to remove things and move things. But when He begins to do it, when He gets ready to get the sword to cut away that thing, to separate you, to separate it from you, you begin to cry and you begin to yearn for it. And so the Lord is saying, make your decision, because what you cry and you yearn for, what you plead for, you shall have it. The Lord is saying He's not going to force your hand and He's not going to force you to serve Him. And some of you, the very thing that God has removed from your life, you have it back. You went back and got it. And the Lord is saying, so be it. It is once you reach a place of full submission where you love Him enough to turn to Him completely, that He can begin to pour into your life and to show you the way and to use you for His glory and His honor. But the Lord is saying, what it is you yearn for and you cry for, you shall have. This is the word of the Lord today. Be blessed.